In the ancient world, constructing a magnificent, wealthy civilization guaranteed your destruction. The moment a society achieved peak prosperity, they signed their death sentence. Look at this image of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This strip of water flowing through the arid desert is known as the cradle of civilization, but it operated as a graveyard. Over thousands of years, a procession of unstoppable superpowers rose up along these banks, built massive cities, and then completely collapsed. How did a region that produced the earliest, most powerful human societies also become a death trap for every single one of them? In the 14th century, a Muslim historian named Ibn Khaldun looked back at these fallen empires and identified a strict mathematical rhythm to their rise and fall. He called it the pattern of history. Khaldun's pattern operates like an inescapable engine with 5 distinct phases: conquest, consolidation, expansion, degeneration, and finally, a new conquest. The engine runs on human comfort. A tribe of rugged, nomadic warriors comes along and conquers a settled kingdom. They seize the wealth, settle into their new holdings, and over generations assimilate into soft city dwellers. They become exactly the kind of vulnerable target they defeated, inviting the next wave of nomads to take their place. This historical law operated with absolute physical certainty, eventually claiming every major power of antiquity. Take the Sumerians. They united the early cities of the Euphrates, inventing writing and the wheel. Yet they were swiftly overrun by a mountainous people from the north, led by Sargon of Akkad, the world's first conqueror known by name. Sargon's fierce Akkadians settled into their newly acquired wealth and went soft. Right on schedule, new nomadic tribes swarmed in. The Gutians, the Hurrians, and the Amorites each conquered the territory, settled down, expanded slightly, and then decayed. This clay tablet displays the complex cuneiform writing of the era. Once the Amorite warriors assimilated, they founded the city of Babylon and poured their resources into high culture, pioneering complex mathematics and early astronomy. No matter how ruthless the invaders were when they breached the city walls, within a few generations they traded their swords for the comforts of city life, priming themselves for the next slaughter. Later empires tried to outsmart Khaldun's cycle through sheer brutality. The Assyrians and the Chaldeans relied on merciless tyranny, utilizing mass population displacement, literally uprooting entire nations to divide their subjects and crush any hope of rebellion. Yet even the brutal Chaldeans succumbed to the lure of luxury. They focused heavily on opulent architecture, constructing the massive hanging gardens of Babylon and sprawling gates lined with gold and blue-glazed brick. This ancient artifact, the Cyrus cylinder, documents a completely different approach by the Persians. Under Cyrus the Great, they utilized an open-hand strategy. They freed captive populations, embraced multiculturalism, and allowed subjects to worship their own gods as long as they paid taxes to the central authority. The Persian superpower eventually met Alexander of Macedonia, a conqueror who crippled the Persian military and intended to physically fuse Greek and Persian cultures. He ordered his generals to take Persian wives, but he died before the policy could cement. Brutal population control, broad religious tolerance, and grand cultural fusion all ended the exact same way. The immense wealth generated by their successful policies inevitably triggered the degeneration phase of the cycle. The Parthians were the rare empire that seemed to understand the trap. To maintain their rugged identity, they actively avoided contributing to art and culture. They ignored philosophy and grand monuments, caring strictly about warfare. Their light cavalry perfected a tactic of pretending to flee, tricking enemies into breaking rank before twisting backward to fire a barrage of arrows. This Parthian shot allowed them to battle the mighty Roman Empire to a total standstill. Fast forward to the later centuries, and the region was dominated by 2 entrenched, massively wealthy superpowers, the Byzantine Empire in the west and the Sassanid dynasty in the east. Locked in a centuries-long stalemate, these 2 giants assumed their only real threat was each other. They poured all their resources into fortifying their shared borders, firmly believing their administrative scale made them invincible. By focusing entirely on peer-to-peer warfare, the emperors in their palaces blinded themselves to the true mechanism of Khaldun's cycle brewing just out of sight. While the Byzantine and Sassanid superpowers bled each other dry, the nomadic tribes of the Arabian Peninsula began to awaken. They were perfectly positioned to swarm north and start the cycle of conquest all over again. If you want to make sure your own mind doesn't go soft and succumb to the cycle of degeneration, hit subscribe and join us for the next video.